Hello, everybody, and welcome to Heartlight Vedic Astrology. Today, I was going to talk about days of the week, or Vaar, as they relate to Vedic astrology or Jyotish, which is ancient Indian astrology that's more than 5,000 years old. And so, this goes along with my other talks regarding auspicious timing or Muhurta. So, uh, let's get into it. Okay, so what is Muhurta? Well, Muhurta is also known as electional astrologer. So, what does that mean? That means choosing a specific time based on the alignment of stars and planets and that sort of thing, that's going to be beneficial for the result that you'd like to see. Okay, so the thing is, it's almost like you can think of it as like aligning with the energy of the stars and nature. Okay, so to the extent that one can do this, we all have free will, and based on the energies that we see in birth charts, um, there's some situations where you have more free will than others, frankly. So there, this part of the talk gets into different kinds of karma, and I have a types of karma in Vedic astrology video if you really want to get into it. But essentially, what this means is that we can see in certain parts of the chart for some people that they have very strong confluence or indication on various levels that life is going to go in a certain direction for them. So maybe it means they're going to get a certain kind of job, or they're going to have a certain kind of relationship, or have a certain number of kids, or that sort of thing. Okay, but in other circumstances, some people's charts may show that there's kind of some duality there, or conflict there, or just some parts of the chart say that things are going to go this way, and other parts of the chart say it's going to go that way. So it's a little bit more open in terms of exerting one's free will as much as one can do that. Okay. So when we see a lot of confluence in a certain direction, that's called drid karma or fixed karma. Okay. And in other places or other charts where we see, mixed results, then that's called adrid karma or not fixed, unfixed karma. Okay. So keep that in mind as well. Okay. So to the extent that one can exert free will, somebody can engage in choosing a specific time to help, create again the desired result. Okay. Um, so when we talk about days of the week, why would that be important? Well, one, again, we can talk about choosing an auspicious time to begin a new activity. Okay, because different days of the week are ruled by different planets, and each planet has different kinds of energy. And so some activities, depending on the energy of the activity, might be better suited for different days. Okay, just as like a background thought or concept here. The other thing is that another part of Vedic astrology is upayas or planetary remedies. Okay, so this is where someone might choose to engage in certain activities to help ameliorate the negative effects of a certain planet. Okay, so maybe Jupiter's really compromised in somebody's chart, and so they want to do upayas or planetary remedies, engage in activities that would help to boost up, again, as much as possible within someone's chart, and everybody's a little bit different, Jupiter, for example. Okay, so there's a couple of reasons why somebody might be interested in, knowing about, the energies of different days. So again, if you're interested in Muhurta or auspicious timing, I have a growing playlist. And so, like, I have a sun changing signs or Samkranti playlist. That actually just happened. That happens every month. So, if you want to learn how to work with that energy, that video might be a good thing to watch. Venus and Jupiter combust or Shukra Guru Asta. Actually, this coming week, we have Venus going combust. So, that might be interesting. Auspicious timing of eclipses. We're currently in the middle of eclipse season. So, we're in between. We just had one Friday. We're going to have another one on the 29th of March. So, Grahan Muhurta, if you want to learn how to work with that. Yeah, the timing of eclipses in the best possible way. I have a couple of other videos: best time to wear new clothes, and then best time for new leadership. So again, yeah, you'll see more videos added to this playlist if you're, again, if you're interested in that topic within Vedic astrology or Jyotish. Okay, so days of the week, let's just put this into the greater context of Muhurta first, or auspicious timing, electional astrology. So days of the week, again, are called Vaar. Muhurta is, auspicious timing or choosing an auspicious date. Now, within Muhurta, okay, Vaar is not the only thing to consider. It's one of the things to consider of the five. Okay, so there are five main considerations in choosing a date. Okay, this is just one level, so keep that in mind as well. So the five main criteria for choosing an auspicious date is nakshatra or lunar mansion. I have a whole video on that if you want to learn about, nakshatras. But essentially, there's 27 nakshatras or lunar mansions. Every night the moon passes through a different one. They all have different energies, and so after about 27 nights, you get a lunar month. Okay, so choosing a nakshatra, the position of the moon, is key. Okay. Then there's Vaar or day, which again we'll talk about in the next couple slides. There's also yoga, so there are combinations between these different factors like nakshatra, Vaar, Tithi, and Karna, which I'll talk about the other two. So there's combinations give kind of a super effect with timing. Then there's Tithi, which is a moon phase. So every time the moon goes through a new moon cycle, okay, there are 15 tithis from the new moon to the full moon, and 15 more tithis from the full moon to the new moon. Okay, so each of those 15 tithis has a different kind of energy. Okay, now within tithi, there's karnas. So a karna is a half of a tithi. Okay, and each karna has a different energy as well. Okay, so again, five main considerations: Muhurta, Vaar, days of the week is just one of them, and that's what I'm going to be talking about today. Okay, so days of the week. So if you're not familiar, I have a planets grahas playlist where I have symbolism videos on each of the planets I'm going to be talking about here. Okay, so there's 7 days of the week, um, and there's seven main planets associated with the days of the week. Okay, so Sunday is Sun's day. Monday is the day of the moon. Tuesday is Mars day. Now, I have in parentheses here K2. K2 is the south node of the moon. There are only 7 days of the week, but there are 9 planets in classical Jyotish. Okay, K2 and Rahu are exceptions here. They tend to follow. K2 tends to follow Mars, and Rahu tends to follow Saturn. Okay. Um, so for Tuesday, you could look at that as again mostly Mars day for the most part. But if there was some reason you needed to address K2 issues, you could use Tuesday. Wednesday is the day of Mercury. Thursday is the day of Jupiter. Friday is the day of Venus. And Saturday is the day of Saturn. Or again, in certain cases, maybe Rahu. Okay. But primarily, Saturday is ruled by Saturn and Tuesday is ruled by Mars. Okay. Um, so just knowing this much so far, like why would this be helpful? Okay. So again, if you were going to go through a perform a upaya or planetary remedy, and this might be something like, giving money to charity, or it might be, some people like to fast, some people like to do acts of service. Some people like to do a mantra practice. Okay. So, like, let's say that Mercury is challenging in your chart, okay? Either generally speaking or at a certain time, a certain dasha period, a planetary period. Okay, Mercury's causing trouble, okay? And you want to try to help lift up the energy of Mercury, okay? Then you would do things like potentially some charitable act, charitable donation, maybe fast, maybe chant mantras to Mercury, that sort of thing, okay? And the best day to do that, okay, you could do it anytime you want and it would still be helpful. But especially if you want to do the upaya on the day of the planet, that would help even more. Okay. The other thing is sometimes like there's colors. I didn't get into that. That's going to be another video. But each of these days and planets have different colors associated with them. So maybe like with Mercury, Mercury is associated with the color green. So maybe on Wednesdays you wear the color green to again, and this is the language of Jyotish, is appease the planet of Mercury. Okay. So far, again, if you're having trouble, and this is, potentially something to work out, with a Vedic astrologer, because it's not always obvious which planet's really causing trouble. Like I had somebody who came in last year and they were convinced that Rahu is a problem in their chart. They're like, Rahu, 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 Rahu is the problem. But the thing was, when I was looking at it, I was like, I don't think Rahu's really that bad in your chart. I mean, Rahu is, has hidden unexpected energy. But Rahu is not always bad. It actually amplifies the planets around it. But it was surrounded by mostly, positive planets. The only thing though is Rahu was sitting in the star Mercury. And Mercury in this person's chart was their ruling planet. It was in a negative house. It was Combustion, so it was weak. Um, and it was like that. It was in negative houses through the divisional charts or whatever. And the thing is, again, Rahu was sitting in the star of Mercury, which was very compromised. And I said, I think that's the problem, is not Rahu, but Mercury, because again, that was the situation, this particular person's chart. Okay. So, no, what was I going to say? No, that's it. Okay, so again, knowing just each day and which planets are associated with them can help you, again, level up or get a little bit more benefit out of, choosing the day associated with the planet can help a bit when you're doing upayas or planetary remedies. Okay. So that's one thing that's good to know regarding the days of the week and Muhurta or auspicious timing. Then there is this information here. So each day of the week, besides having a different ruling planet, like Sundays ruled by sun, Mondays ruled by moon, each day of the week has a different kind of energy associated with it. Okay. So, for example, Sunday is ruled by the sun, but Sunday has an energy sort of like the sun. Like the sun is constant, like it's always shining, even if it doesn't seem like it's shining and it's on the other side of the world and it's nighttime or there's a bunch of clouds or fog and we can't really see the sun that well. The sun is always shining, and so there's this very constant fixed energy to anything related to the sun. Okay, so Sunday, as a day of choosing to do some activity, has a constant kind of fixed energy. So, Sunday would be an auspicious day to choose something that you want to stay fixed and constant. Okay. For example, building the foundation of a building, right? You don't want that, you don't want to build a building on like, sinking sand or something like that. You want it solid and you want it to last because you've invested all this time and energy, money, or what have you in building this, thing. I mean, unless you're working in Hollywood or whatever and it's changing all the time, like those, backdrops that are changing all the time, but that's kind of a different story. But for the most part, again, if you really want like, your house to last or, a Capitol building to last or some monument to last, then Sunday would potentially be a good choice. Okay. Now, again, remember, choosing the day is only one factor out of five in determining Muhurta for a new activity. Okay, so that's Sunday. So Monday, the energy associated with Monday or the moon. So the moon is constantly changing. Like it goes through different phases. It goes through different lunar mansions or nakshatras. Like the moon's constantly changing. Like it's variable. So it's what they call char or chala, movable. Okay. So it has this, Mondays have this movable energy. Okay. So some activities such as traveling would be potentially a good activity to start on a Monday because Monday, based on, again, the energy of the moon, tends to be a movable day. Okay, for example. Now, Tuesday, Mars, right, the energy of Mars, it's a rebellious planet, it's a fighting planet, it's an aggressive planet, can be angry planet. Okay, so the energy of both Mars and Tuesday is Ugra Krura, or aggressive cruel. Okay, so what kind of activities might you want to do on Mars? Well, things such as like performing surgery, right? I mean, we willingly do this today, right? We, hopefully have anesthesia, but you're taking a knife and cutting into somebody's body. Okay. So, it takes a certain amount of aggression there to do that, right? As opposed to like, performing Reiki or it's a very different kind of energy. Okay. Other sorts of aggressive type acts. So anything regarding like fire or maybe destroying things or fighting, like maybe, um, and again, it depends on, depends on how far you want to take this, like something like, like legal battles and stuff like that. I mean, if you choose Mars, depending on the other factors, it might be so aggressive that, it's a never-ending battle. Okay. But maybe, if you're starting a career in like, you know, military or law enforcement, this might be a day to do it. Okay. So again, but you want to consider this with other factors. And again, if Mars is very compromised and you choose a Tuesday and the nakshatra is aggressive, if all the factors are aggressive, then you can see that there's probably going to be too much aggression, even if you're trying to do something like perform surgery or, some military action. But just to give you a flavor of these different days and planets, okay? Then there's Wednesday. Wednesday's ruled by Mercury. So Mercury, again, is a dual planet. It's also a very analytical, logical planet. It's also like related to business and communication and, that sort of thing. So the energy of Mercury and Wednesday is Mishra Sadarvana. Okay, Sadarvana. So mixed and ordinary. Okay. So I tend to think of Wednesday as a really good day to run around and do various errands, like go grocery shopping, go to laundromat, get your car fixed, pick up dog food. It's just that kind of energy where it's sort of like malleable. Okay. Then Thursday is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter, symbolizes things like education and spirituality and children. So the energy, and it's also an expansive planet. It's at the great benefic. So it helps to grease the wheels, so to speak. Okay. So the energy of Thursday and Jupiter is Lagu Chipra, or short dynamic. Okay. So that means that things are going to move fast and grow or change fast, kind of like Monday. Okay. But I think of Thursday as being a little bit more, because there is a constancy to, Jupiter as well. But so something that, an activity that might be, nice to start on Thursday is like starting a new course or class. Okay. Because when you're trying to learn something, it helps if you pick things up quickly and learn quickly and change quickly and grow and develop your mind and yourself quickly, as opposed to like really, knocking your head on the wall and, trying and trying and it just doesn't stick in your head. Okay. Then there's Friday or Venus, and the energy here is Mridu Maitra, or gentle and friendly. Okay. Because Venus is like the compassionate planet, the great social grace planet. It's creativity, it's the finer things of life, it's luxury items, that sort of thing. So, a nice activity to potentially start on a Friday would be something like starting any kind of creative project, like maybe a new painting, or if you like to write songs or poetry or something like that, or see your friends, hang out with your family, loved ones. Friday is a good day for that. Okay, and then there's Saturday, and ruled by Saturn. And Saturn, is, a lot of people are afraid of Saturn. It can symbolize things like delays, obstacles, chronic illness, death, even, So the energy here with Saturday is Daruna Chikshna, or ferocious sharp. Okay. So, what kinds of things are good to do on a Saturday to work, again, align yourself with this kind of energy? Well, end things, complete things. Instead of starting them, maybe end them. Or cleaning, getting things ship shape, and like, because when you're cleaning, you're, removing the disorder or the whatever, dirt or whatever. Okay. The other thing that's nice about Saturday is doing some kind of sadhana. Okay. So doing your spiritual practice rather than start, some sort of mundane, outward, earthly activity, to focus on your spiritual practice. And that way, and by doing that, you're essentially getting your self, your inner world, your karma in better shape and order, okay, to reduce, obstacles and, and delays and, chronic issues moving forward. Okay, so that's days of the week, or Vaar and Muhurta. So as always, thanks so much for stopping by, listening to one of my talks. Again, all of my teaching videos on the subject of Vedic astrology are my concepts playlist. They can be found there. If you'd like to learn astrology by looking at more famous birth charts, I have a birth chart archive list 2024 video that you can check out to see a list of all the famous birth charts, whether it's famous people, places, or moments in time that I've analyzed, all the charts I've analyzed on the channel and the video you can find them in. I'll be updating that soon because I've been, since this video is about a year old, so I need to add in all the other new videos I've analyzed in the past year. I do offer individual birth chart readings. If that's of interest, you can email heartlightastro@yahoo.com. I also have another YouTube channel on natural medicine where I talk about Ayurveda, traditional Indian medicine, and yoga, so other Vedic arts, as well as other paradigms of medicine like homeopathy and naturopathic medicine. So if that's interesting to you, the name of that channel is Nature Source Care. All right, so thanks so much for all of your support. I appreciate all of it in terms of my work and the channel, all the different ways that you guys choose to do that, whether it's subscribing or liking or posting lovely comments or sending in donations or sharing videos. It's all very much appreciated. So thank you for that. All right. So as always, I hope you found this talk helpful, useful, and interesting to you as you learn to navigate the energy cycles of your own life. All right. So until the next one, take good care. Namaste.